It began on a small island in the North Atlantic. By the 19th century, it spanned a quarter of the Earth's landmass and ruled over 400 million people. The British Empire became the largest empire in human history, built on trade, war, colonization, and innovation. But how did it happen, and what legacy did it leave behind? The seeds were planted in the 1500s as English ships began exploring the Atlantic. Elizabeth III's reign saw privateers like Francis Drake and the first failed colonies in the Americas. Then came the 1600s, and the rise of joint stock companies like the East India Company and the Royal African Company. They weren't just traders, they acted like states. They built forts, signed treaties, and commanded armies. Meanwhile, England expanded in North America, the Caribbean, and India, often seizing land from other European powers. War was a major engine of empire. The 7 Years' War, the Napoleonic Wars, allowed Britain to take French, Dutch, and Spanish colonies across the globe. By the early 1800s, Britain ruled Canada, India, Australia, the Caribbean, and parts of Africa. Naval power was key. The Royal Navy was the most dominant force on the seas. After 1815, Britain entered a century of global dominance, known as the Pax Britannica. During Queen Victoria's reign, the empire reached its greatest extent. It was powered by industrial strength, colonial trade, missionary activity, and controversially, the slave trade and imperial exploitation. The British Empire brought railways, education, and law, but also took land, crushed resistance, and redrew borders for its own benefit. Resistance to empire was always present, from the Indian Rebellion of 1857 to the Boer Wars to rising nationalism in Africa and Asia. After World War I, Britain was stretched thin. After World War II, it began to let go. India became independent in 1947. African nations followed. By the 1960s, the empire had largely dissolved. What remained was the Commonwealth, a voluntary association of former colonies. The British Empire shaped the modern world, for better and worse. It spread language, law, and ideas, but also imposed borders, disrupted cultures, and exploited millions. Its rise was fueled by ambition, trade, and war. Its fall was driven by resistance, change, and the cost of empire. And its legacy is still unfolding today.